bless you as you listen and prayerfully meditate and yield yourself for God's great move in this end time. Remain lifted.
God is still in the business of touching and using men. Do you know what is your problem? Is that you have not realized. I want to leave you with few things that must happen, because this touch does not just happen like that. Jesus was walking through the streets of Galilee one day. As he was passing, because of testimonies of what is happening, somebody said, "Sir, I want to follow you." He said, "Follow me. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. Why do you want to follow me? I know the Son of Man have no place." And that was the last that was heard about that man. Jesus went further again, and he met one man. I said, "You, follow me." What's the difference? And the man followed him. Today, I need you to think again about your life. Is there anything, have you been able to think the reason why you are here at a time like this? The reason why you are in London? I'm afraid for those of you who are here, those of us by the grace of God, that the Father has passed through the tutelage. We have taken sand and played with sand and are still playing with sand. If you come to the place where I minister now, you minister to people in the world, you minister with your money, you minister with your strength, you gather. Last week or last 2 weeks, a woman just came in to the church. She was pregnant, and somebody told me that she's having problem with the pregnancy. We brought her for prayers. While I was praying, God said, "Wait, she's in chains, and the child is in chains." I said, "Woman, this is what God is saying." So I told my wife, "Lay hands on her tummy." Another mother, lay hands on her. So we broke all those chains. If I had all it takes, you know what I would have done? Because when I look at her, I knew, God witnessed to me that the child is dead. The child in her womb was dead. Because she had been in labor for 2 weeks. And that pregnancy has passed more than 9 months. So if I had what it takes, what I would have done, it was just prompting me as if I can take her to the hospital. If we are in a country where we have such services free, I would have just taken her. But I told God, because this was going on in my spirit, and I said, "God, you understand?" And I said, "God, let there be a rumble in the body that will bring this child out." Because she don't have money for CS. That's what I would have just taken. Because that woman was about dying. So after that prayer, I left her in the hand of God. So the next day, the rumbling started. So she went to the hospital. And all of a sudden, the child came out fear. When this child came out, the intestine was already out. A child born with the intestine out. The intestine was wrapped over the child like this. On my Facebook is there. She came, she testified. What am I talking about? What I'm saying that in a city like that, because when I see some of these things, a place where you are not there because of what you get, because of the purpose. So a lot of people are ministering now because of what they get. We have a lot of people. They have spoiled things. Ministry now is all about how many people you can get so that you can multiply. Even if it is 10 pounds they give, you multiply. So when you need some money now, you just put 10 days or 20 days night vigil. When you multiply 10 pounds, that money will come. We have spoiled a lot of things. People don't know what to believe anymore. And our world is going. Do you know in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the Bible said, in the last days, one of the greatest things that the church will be doing is holding forth the activities of the Antichrist from being manifested. He said the Antichrist will continue to work, but the church will be holding the Antichrist for some time until the full manifestation. In other words, when you see the multiplicity of the activities of the Antichrist, what does that mean? The church is no longer holding forth. We are getting weaker and weaker and weaker every day. And can I tell you something? That the only reason why the church is here at a time like this is to hold the activities of the Antichrist. We are failing. What is the touch for? David was in the wilderness, tending the sheep. One thing that must happen in your life before you can get this touch. And the Bible said he was going to give the brothers food to eat. And when he got there in the battlefield, the Bible said they were all shaking like the reed. David said, what is happening? All of a sudden he saw this man. From the physical look, everything about this man is abnormal. And the Bible said he went to somebody there. He didn't ask what is. I say, what will be given to anybody that will bring this man down? They are looking at this boy. Where are you coming from? All of a sudden, while he was discussing with the man, his senior brother Eliab came and said, hey, boy, what are you doing here? Did you see your mate here? I know you. That your stubbornness, you have carried it to this place. You know what David asked him? He says, sir, is there not a cause? Until you see the cause why we need the touch of God in our life and the world will remain like this. Sir, you mean you are hearing this man talking like this against the God of heaven and earth? And you are quiet. You are asking me what I'm doing here. You are so comfortable. You are so relaxed. With all that God has done in Israel, you are like this. And you are asking me. He said, no, any other person can take it. I cannot take it. Brethren, this God, I pray that his hand will come upon you. It may not be palatable. It may not be so sweet. In fact, at a time you may appear foolish. In fact, all the years I call my ministry a foolish man ministry. Sometime I will carry all this my books and go to discipleship school. After discipleship school, somebody meets me, Daddy, I don't have money to go for transport. Or the one I sold that day, I said, yeah, take. I will go home. Brethren, until you see the cause for which heaven must reckon with you, don't you feel bad? Look at what is happening in our society. Look at what's going on in our society. David said, is there not a cause? Can I ask you a question? Have you not seen a cause for which you will begin to do something in your family where you come from? Have you not seen a cause? Look at, may God help those of us living this place. It's a wonderful place to live, London, US, organized place. But hear this, they have gotten so organized and they have organized Jesus out of people's life. Hey, hear me. People will out of organization comfortably. They will arrange hellfire for you. May that not be your portion. These people are in a mess. They are every day they are thinking, they are ahead, they are going far to see how they are going to, if they don't catch us, let us not miss their children. In the morning we saw when we are going through that the morning session. Can't you see how far they are going? The gender thing, they're bringing all those to the church, and everybody, brethren, God help our world. I gave my life to Christ when the church, the second name, the second name for the church, do you remember when they say as poor as a church rat? Church rat is no more poor now. In those days, when you see a rich man or somebody who want to say that I belong, if you say you are SU, you say no, me, how can I can't follow those people. These days, every rich man wants to be associated with the church. Oh, it's our church. Oh, it's SU. Why? What is happening? And yet, their lives are so evil. Because we have forgotten the cause for which we became Christians. And we have so much arranged the Christianity for them in such a way they can be comfortable. We have so much arranged everything that what we are now pursuing is our purpose, is our cause. The church has become a place to cover up. It has become a place where they can do anything and come and share their tithe and share everything. And everyone says, somebody pray for this man. He be a wicked man that stole, that should be called to order. And people are praying for him. And we have taught our children. Somebody, the person that talked in the morning, that talked about the role of the father in the house, in the homes. Our children can no longer, they don't understand what our values, because the father is somebody else in the church and somebody else at home. The mother is somebody else in the church and somebody else at home. The children are confused. And they go to school, they confuse them again. What generation of people are we raising in our time? I beg you, brethren, one of the touches of God, why God has given you those children, is that you may raise a godly seed, that we make sure that the purpose and plan of God is realized. May you reproduce seed, godly seed. I pray that fathers and mothers, you will put your hands together and sink every pride and recognize that you are here for a purpose. Not just to give them food, not just to send them to school. Let there be a cause that will touch you. Jesus. Father, have mercy. Until you see the cause, you will not receive the touch. The Bible said there was a man called Jabez. He was born foolish. He was born, you know, the greatest thing that can happen to a man. Mothers are wonderful. But when every man rejects you, your mother rejects you too, you are finished. Jabez had a problem to the point that the mother also rejected him and said, you are a cursed child. You gave me pains. Jabez was going with the pain all through. The Bible said, shall a woman forget her suckling? Jabez suffered it. Until one day, Jabez said, anybody can leave me, not you, God. Brethren, I just wish that this burden can enter somebody's heart and the person can say, I won't remain like this. Things cannot continue like this. Jabez said, Lord, if only you can touch my life and enlarge my course. Lord, he went to the right point and God said, I will turn it around. And the Bible said God touched the life of Jabez. And you know what happened? He said, Jabez became more honorable than the rest of the brethren. It is not enough to quote it. What is important is that, can't you see somewhere along the line that your life is all rallied around, what others are doing, what everybody has said you are, things that are going on around you. You have never decided at any time to have a one-on-one encounter with Jesus. David said, Eliab, you may not see a cause. You can see this uncircumcised Philistine talking like this about our God. Do you know what the Bible said? We read in the book of Ephesians, say, we are created in Christ Jesus so that we can begin to do the work that we initially ordained to be done. What does that mean? The investment of God in man is still in you. But there is a need to realize this investment. And it can only happen when a man has encountered Christ. When you have looked at yourself and said, never again. That is when your life will begin again. When it happened to Paul, in the book of Galatians chapter 2, the Bible said, Paul said, I am appointed a minister to the Gentiles, and Peter a minister to the circumcised. But when it was that separated us. As I was doing my own ministry in line with purpose, Peter was doing his own in line with purpose. One day, Peter came to where we are. I was dining and wining. And then Peter came to where we are and saw us wining and dining. And Peter joined us and were eating together. When those who were of the circumcision came, Peter saw them and quickly washed his hands. Paul was raged in the heart. Say, what is this, Peter? At this level of your Christian life? And do you remember that Peter was there when Jesus told them that, look, the ministry has changed. It's no longer about Jew. It's no longer about circumcised. It's no longer about Greek. Now all are one in Christ. Peter was there. Do you remember Paul was not there then? May you have a revelation of the Spirit. The day you begin to have a one-on-one fellowship with God, can I tell you something? You will be far above all that. God can take you far. It was in the same chapter why Paul was demonstrating and making men understand where the gospel has brought him. Paul told him, listen to me, Peter. Say, now I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. But the life I now live is the life of Christ who died for me. Brethren, what happened in the life of man in the garden was a dying of the spirit man, with which man related with God. But when God meets man in Christ, do you know what happens? The flesh is the one to die now. In the garden, the spirit died. Any man that must live in Christ now must do what? Must die to the flesh. If you don't, you are a dead man already. In the book of Romans, chapter 8, do you know what the Bible said? He said, to be carnally minded is what? Is what? He didn't say he's sin, no. He's dead. To be a carnal mind is what? Is dead. Brethren, by God's grace, because of our time, I may not go far, but in this program, God is looking for a man, God is looking for a woman again that he will be able to touch so that life can come back. I want to read the book of Psalm chapter 82. Psalm chapter 82. Can you help me? Psalm chapter 82 verse 1. Psalm chapter 82 verse 1. He said, God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among gods. Verse 3. Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Verse 6. He says, I have said, you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Brethren, the Bible said, all of us, you are what? Gods. What does God mean? Was he trying to paint a scenario? When I wrote that book, I beg all of you, those of you who don't have that book, one woman got that book and she ordered for 500 copies just to share it in a wedding so that people can read. One ordered from US, said I should send copies to her when she touched the book. You know, some of us, we are so busy. God have mercy. We are so busy. And God is seeking for somebody that he wants to touch, somebody want to talk to, somebody can confide in. The Bible says we are gods. Time has come when we should be able to understand. You know what gods do? Priests. Have you ever seen people who are dedicated to all these priests of shrines and all that? Have you seen them? They don't live normal life. Their life is so abnormal. It doesn't matter if you're a professor, you wear their type of clothes. If they say you leave your baby, you leave it. You wear red and wear white like this. You will lose every sense of dressing and whatever. Why? Because you have answered the call of God. I pray for men who will answer the call of God in this generation. Enough of going to church, strolling to church and strolling back. Strolling to church and strolling back. The Bible says you are what? Gods. God is looking for gods. When they wanted to discourage David from going to fight Goliath, they put everything. Saul left all his and put on Goliath and put on David. You know what David said? He says, I have not tried this one. Many of us are still working with so many of these things that David has said it doesn't work. And David picked, the Bible said, 5 choice stones. You know those stones? Grace. Grace. You know those stones? Jesus. Very smooth. Oh my God. You have grace to become anything you can become. How can ordinary stone kill a Goliath? Can I tell you, child of God, there is some... Listen. Littered on this road to seeking God. Littered on this wilderness road. There are those things we are looking for. They are there. They are there. All those things we are fighting and looking for, they are there. I beg you today, may you see a cause, may you see a reason. Wherever you are a managing director in a company. And almost everybody there don't know Jesus. You don't know you have an opportunity. Listen to me, if God give you an opportunity, it is for the purpose of heaven. Can I tell you something? You may have a name. One of the greatest things that happen to our ministers, I'm praying for them, all our wonderful men of God, especially in my nation. God suddenly gave them a name. They thought the names are for themselves. They can go to any president or governor or whatever. They thought it's for themselves. They now started asking for. Brethren, time has come when we're going to tell ourselves the sudden truth. If we do not realize the reason why you must be in the kingdom at a time like this, then heaven regrets. Today, I want to round up this message and then begin to call you to open up yourself for the Father to touch you once again. There was a place they preached a message on your first love. And I rose up to pray. like every other person. I don't want you to pray that prayer. That's why I'm giving you this kind of message. I'm going to do like this. You know, when I rose up to pray like every other person, oh, Father, give me first love. The Spirit of God said, stop. I've told you, don't pray like others. Now, I said, God, what did I do now? I said, do you know what first love means? And it now dawned on me. I said, have I ever loved you for the first time? Do you know what I'm saying? I've been a Christian, I've been a pastor for years, and that question was saying, and I began to go through the Bible, and I began to see people who love God. I saw Abraham. He gave everything, including the beloved son. I saw Moses, who was supposed to run away from Pharaoh, but because of the word God is saying, he went far. Have I ever loved God? I saw David. I saw Paul. I saw Peter. The Bible said when Peter was about to be crucified, and Peter said, wait, oh, they said, what do you want? He want to confess. I said, no, I don't want to confess. Don't crucify me like you crucified my master. Turn me upside down. I said, this is love. Every February, when they want to celebrate their Valentine, I tell them, say, well, I told my children up to tomorrow, if you ask them who is my Valentine, they say it's Jesus. Because I don't know Valentine. But the Bible says, greater love has no man than this, that a man gave his life for his friend. Jesus was asking me, have you ever loved me? So don't pray, restore my first love. I say, God, help me to love you. I wish you will pray, say, Father, touch me today. Look at men that God has touched. Look at Elijah. Look at Elisha. On their road, when Elijah was going, Elisha said, please, Elisha, stay here, tarry here. Elisha said, me, I won't tarry. They went again, going further. The prophets came and said, Elisha, your guy is going. Say, I know, hold your peace, I know what I'm doing. And they said, tarry here. And he said, no, me, tarry. And he continued to go until they crossed over. And Elijah said, what do you want? I pray that you will come to that point when heaven will see your heart tonight and ask you, what do you want? I pray that you will say the right thing. Touch me. Touch me one more time. Oh Lord. Touch me one more time. You can be on your feet. Oh Lord. Father, touch me now. Touch me one more time. Dear Lord. Jehovah, touch me now. Touch me one more time. Oh Lord. Father, I need your touch now. I need the touch of the Master. I need the touch of the Lord. Touch me one more time. Oh Lord. Jehovah, I need your touch. I need the touch of the Master. I need the touch of the Lord. Touch me one more time. Oh Lord. Open up to him right now.